But this is a book written by a man named Mr. DANEUF, I'm sorry. Got my information a little bit off. His name is Mr. DANEUF, and he wrote this book, The Struggle for Freedom, The History of African Americans in Western Massachusetts, from the Republican newspaper. Now, I'm going to put up a picture where you can see it in color, because it's really a fabulously written book. And Wayne E. DANEUF is actually a Springfield resident and the executive editor of the Republican newspaper. And it's one of the main authors of The Struggle for Freedom, The History of African Americans in Western Massachusetts. Now, this book is fabulous. We used to have it here in the studio, but it suddenly disappeared, so we have to get another copy. But what I'm going to be doing today as a special treat is recently they had an ovational presentation at STCC, Springfield Technical Community College. You know, our alumni, we love STCC. And they had the ovational presentation with Wayne DANEUF on Black History Month, for Black History Month, on this particular book, The Struggle for Freedom. And it was beautiful, it was wonderful. The actual video footage was done here by Focus, not done here, but it was done by Focus Springfield TV. Here at Focus Springfield, I just wanted that to be a part of TC Eckstein Cafe TV because I think Black History Month is so very important, even though people think we should celebrate Black history all year long and be proud of ourselves all year long. That is so true. However, sometimes you have to have a time to make you stop and remember and recollect and get back to what you stray from. In other words, like all year long, we should think of what Martin Luther King did. And sometimes we don't remind ourselves or until around the time of his birthday or the time of his death, we pay tribute, or, you know, the holiday. Then we start scheduling events and doing things and bringing things up. It's just like I'd say any other national holiday, like say for instance Christmas. Christmas is a time where we should reflect on the origins of Christmas and what it's all about. And some of us do, some of us don't. But nevertheless, that time of year, it brings you back to what it's all about, and it's your reminder, even though Christmas should be in your heart all year long. So anyway, that's my little speech about it. So, I mean, take it or leave it, you know, it's just my little opinion. I think it's important that we bring it up yearly and monthly, that we embrace the month that we have and do all that we can during the month that we have and do all we can all year long, yes, indeed, in addition to celebrating the month. And the same thing with heart disease. I live with it every day of the year, and I'm reminded of it every day that I wake up. And therefore, I stay active on it. But that special time of year that rolls around, February, is Heart Month, Heart Awareness Month, and September too. But February, because it's Valentine's Month, is a focus on red and hearts, and you know, so we really get a lot done around February for Go Red for Women Month and the American Heart Association and other pending issues that are related to heart disease and stroke.
I did not hear once he yell freeze, stop, or halt. It was just horrible to watch. It hurt him a lot.
I'm a girl, 21 years old, on my way home. Car crashes, bones break, body tossed into the windshield like an acrobatic rag doll, brain playing ping pong with my skull, crushed arteries shoot blood around the car like vampires playing paintball, lungs committing suicide with the air, chest heaving in and out like a child overdosing on asthma attacks. 2 seconds later, my body laid there limp like an aborted fetus that was ripped from its temporary home. And after this poem, just like me, everybody at the sound of my voice will die. I had to realize the hard way that death, he has no age. He takes no fun in catching up to those who already expect his arrival. Are you a death? Would you rather take the 80-year-old preacher on his deathbed singing to Jesus about going up yonder, or the 18-year-old boy at the club thinking that he got his whole life to live right, oblivious that he's 5 heartbeats away from, 4 breaths away from, 3 seconds away from, too late to keep a stray bullet from saying hello to his lungs? It looks like life just lost one. Death gets the glory he searches for. Every time someone utters the words, only the good die young, because it's good for the young to die in his eyes. It's called shock value. The more it's unexpected, the better he gets at it. Death is a jealous fellow. When you fail to think about him, the more he remembers who you are, your name, where you stay, your friends, your family. He tends to use the ones you love to be his pawns in this chess game of life. Analyze if they are pushing you towards the true king, cause death ain't no rook, so no matter how much you think they will protect you in the time of trouble, death will always yell checkmate. You can treat life like tic-tac-toe if you want to, making you the X and turning God into a 0, Xing out every opportunity you have to live eternally. Eventually, those X's will connect like Connect 4 and blow up in your face like Battleship. But some of you just might have to die to realize life ain't to be played with. So start thinking about your funeral. And don't be surprised if your profile picture is tagged to the front of your obituary, because that'll be your final Facebook, because you will die whether you believe it or not. Death could care less if you are healthy. You can jog and eat veggies and go on diets till your face turns green, but it's a fallacy to think the low calories will stop an undetected aneurysm from exploding in your brain while you sleep. Death will not have sympathy on you because you have kids, because life ain't nothing but preschool for them, and eternity is elementary. Death will not hold back because you are in school, trying to get a degree, start a career, and have a family. He identifies with you more than you think. He graduated from the University of RIP. He has a master's in mastering those who think they have mastered what it means to live life like it's no tomorrow. When you are a part of his family, that's why his name will be engraved on each one of your graves. The date of your death is his signature. I know you probably think you would be married with children. I know you think your parents are supposed to die before you. But the fact of the matter is, 155,000 people die every day. That's 6,461 people an hour, 108 people a minute, and 2 people per second. That means that the clock inside your chest is ticking, and only God knows what time it is. Wake up, because your ignorance is committing your suicide. But God is ready to resurrect you from the grave, because he resurrected. Death cannot sting those that are covered in the repellent of Christ's blood. But for those of you that refuse to believe the truth, death is playing duck, goose with everyone in your room. And sooner than you may assume, its finger will eventually point to you.
Sorry. This is another book that they have here in the lobby. Hopefully this one won't get taken too. It's called African Americans Who Made a Difference. It's got 15 plays for the classroom. This book says history comes alive with this ready-to-reproduce collection of read aloud plays on turning points in American history. Thanksgiving at Plymouth, the Boston Tea Party, Trail of Tears, Oregon Trails, Pearl Harbor, and 5 more. It includes background information, literature, links, and activities to extend learning. So, Famous Americans, 22 short plays for the classroom, plays about the presidents, 12 short plays for the classroom. It's a pretty interesting book that this is here, and it's got lots of literature, like here, The Sojourner Truth, living up to her name, Sojourner's mother, the women's rights leaders, Miss Frances Cage. She was known as Isabel or Belle in her early years. It tells all about her. She was born into slavery in the year 1797. Her real name was Isabella, but her parents, James and Mama, called her Belle. James and Mama had 10 children. All the children had been sold into slavery by the time Belle was born. Now, only Belle and her younger brother, Peter, lived with their parents. And then, it goes on and it tells you more with narrations and scene acting and so on and so forth. This is also a very great, good book. It's by Scholastic and features Rosa Parks, Sojourner Truth, Jackie Robinson, George Washington Carver, Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman, and Thurgood Marshall. So this can be bought online by Scholastic Professional Books, Scholastic Incorporated. Okay, so, but back to the struggle for freedom. This book, I'm gonna make sure you see it in color. It's, in regards to Western Massachusetts, Springfield, a lot of people don't know our history. Springfield, the city, was a major stop on the Underground Railroad, the secret network used by the 19th century black slaves to escape to free states. And one destination was the Massasoit House, today known as the Paramount Building. Yeah, the Paramount. Okay. Wayne E. Phaneuf, executive editor of the Republican, the editor and one of the main authors of The Struggle of Freedom, The History of African Americans in Western Mass, discussed this book. But the discussion also was led by Amilcar Shabazz, faculty advisor for diversity and excellence, office of the chancellor at the UMass, University of Massachusetts College University. Phaneuf was asked to discuss the city's role in the Underground Railroad. He said the hotel had an African-American wait staff. So when escaped slaves would come in, they would be given a waiter's uniform and would work there until they made their way to the next stop. They were hidden in plain view, Phaneuf said. He said the escaped slaves may even have waited on the Secretary of War, Jefferson Davis. When he came to visit the Springfield Armory, which is at STCC, Springfield Technical Community College here in Springfield, my alumni college where I graduated in nursing. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. So when Jefferson Davis came to visit the Armory, Davis later became the president of Confederacy. In addition to Phaneuf, authors of the book were Todd Robinson, a Springfield native who teaches at the University of Nevada in Las Vegas, and Joseph Carvalho, former president of the Springfield Museums, and Jeanette Davis Harris. Okay, Phaneuf, who grew up in Winchester Square, now known as Mason Square, said he got the idea for the book after writing about Springfield's 37th anniversary. And he said he particularly was interested in telling the story of the region's African Americans. The book starts out in the 1600s, the era of slavery. Massachusetts was the first colony to legalize slavery in 1641, and among the first to abolish it 140 years later, and finishes in the present day. A photograph of President Barack Obama and the First Lady Michelle dancing at his inaugural ball is one of the last in the book. FANUF discussed some of the book's highlights and the regions notable to African American citizens. The city was home to abolitionist John Brown, that's Springfield, Massachusetts, the city. And it was where he met another famed abolitionist, Frederick Douglass, in 1847. Great Barrington was where civil rights activist and author W.E. Du Bois grew up. His father lived in Springfield. The city also was home to blues legend Taj Mahal and his sister, Carol Fredericks, also a singer, and the world's fastest man, Howard P. Drew, a 1912 Olympian, was raised in the city of Springfield also. It was also a place where singer James Brown and actor Della Reese and boxer Muhammad Ali maintained apartments, as it was cheaper than New York City. Resident J.B. Bradley photographed the celebrities and launched his own publication for the black community called Chat. As a people and as a history in this area, it's a story that has to be told, he said. There are bright spots and not so bright spots. Bright spots include Western mass history as a haven for African Americans who escaped from slavery. Not so bright spots include the burning of the Macedonian Church of God by 3 white men hours after Obama was elected president in 2008. That was a tragedy for our city, and it really tore into the hearts of all of us. But that since then, that church has been rebuilt and is still standing and doing well. And thank you, praise the Lord, in the name of Jesus, that that church has been rebuilt. It just goes to show that evil will not win. Anyway, okay, FANUF noted how far the country has come. As Obama in his second term and in Massachusetts, Governor Deval L. Patrick and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court Roderick Ireland, also a Springfield man, are all African Americans. But he said there's still work to be done. In closing, FANUF read from his book, A Knowledge of the Past, of the sacrifices of those who have come before us. Will help us understand the road ahead. Think of it as fuel to continue the struggle. The book may be ordered online at pedimentbooks.com or also at The Republican at 1860 Main Street, Springfield, Massachusetts. It's also available at local bookstores. And again, I said I'm going to put up this in color because it's made in brilliant color so you can see it then, okay? So anyway, we're going to conclude that and I'll be right back. You stay tuned. We're going to continue on. And
in 2006, the American Heart Association and the American Stroke Association launched Power to End Stroke to reduce stroke and its risk factors in the African American community. We're educating the public through community outreach programs like the Powerful Black Family Celebration, the Let's Start Moving event, and the Most Powerful Voices Gospel Singing Competition. These events are making a tremendous difference. To date, Power to End Stroke has over 700,000 registrants. Power to End Stroke recognizes the importance of raising awareness in the African American community, and we're making an impact.
Stroke and diabetes and heart disease is prevalent in the black community, and so I want to be here to support healthy eating and taking care of oneself and doing whatever you can.
I had a lot of family members that had a lot of problems, and be it diabetes, be it heart problems, this whole thing, and I just said, you know, that can't be me. We're not going out like that.
I'm just here to help bring awareness to everybody, especially to our community.
Eat well, rest well, and exercise.
The Most Powerful Voices contest is one of the many ways in which Power to End Stroke is hitting the right notes in the African American community. More than 500 competition videos were received, more than 15,000 fans voted, and more than 15,500 people registered to receive monthly stroke information. More than 34,000 national and local ambassadors, including celebrity ambassadors like Cicely Tyson, Michelle Williams, and BB Winans, are inspiring people to take care of their health.
We all have the power to end stroke. It's about us. It's about this body. It's this temple that we have.
Just find out, what you are at risk for and then do some research. A lot of things are preventable just by nutrition.
Overall, maintain a healthy diet, be physically active, don't smoke, and schedule regular checkups with your doctor.
They're leading over 40,000 power activities and making a powerful impact. With cooking tips from top chefs and advice from healthcare professionals, Power to End Stroke is committed to giving people the tools to eat healthier and live a more active lifestyle. And it doesn't stop there. This year marked the launch of Power TV.
Hey everyone, I'm Elle Marie and welcome to Power TV, where we're empowering people to live healthier, happier lives.
What kind of healthy dish would you make?
Maybe some steamed vegetables, baked chicken, something like that. A little water to go along with that.
Through alliances with influential organizations like Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Inc., National Baptist Congress, and the Association of Black Cardiologists, Power to End Stroke has reached new heights in its outreach to consumers. They trust the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association to advocate for the health and wellness of the African American community. As a friend of Power to End Stroke, your brand will be integrated into our campaign. Your participation in our cause can be a tremendous asset in reaching this powerful demographic, increasing your visibility and addressing your bottom line. The Power to End Stroke movement has a powerful voice. Power to End Stroke improves the health and quality of life of African Americans by giving them the tools they need to live happier, healthier lives. This is your opportunity to make an impact by becoming part of the Power to End Stroke National Cause campaign. Help share our life-saving message to improve the health and quality of life of the African American community. After all, you are the power to end stroke.